Unit 9B, Lesson 2, Extensive Listening. Part 1.
Thanks for coming to help today, Sophie, especially as term finished yesterday and we're all on holiday now.
That's okay. I'm very interested in the work. How's design going? That has to be finished today, doesn't it?
It should be, but there's a problem. At the end of the interview with Varna and Ari, there's nearly a whole page of empty space.
Can I see the pages?
Yes, look, here on the computer. And you see, the next section, school trips, has to start on the next page. We have to fill that big white hole.
Part 2.
Well, I can see it's not great, but is it such a big problem? I mean, can we just leave the empty space as it is?
No, not really, because it would look terrible. And so I've been wondering, perhaps we can add another poem. But that's no good because we haven't got any more good ones.
You're right. We were only offered 2 good poems and we've already put them in the magazine. Perhaps we can put in a short story instead.
No, I thought of that too, and I checked the only story we've got, but it's no good because it would take too much space.
Oh dear. Well, what about this? Further back, before the interview, let's make the basketball team photo much bigger.
Nice idea, but if we made their photo much bigger than the other sports photos, the other teams would be annoyed, so that won't work either.
Well, what about this? Let's put in a list of important dates for next year. You know, drama and music events, sports day and things like that.
Well, there's a problem with that too, because a lot of them haven't been decided yet.
Oh dear. Well, what do you suggest?
There's only one thing I can think of. We need to do a longer interview with Varna and Ari. And that would be very interesting. People would like that.
I agree, but there's just one problem. They're getting ready to fly home on Monday. They must be extremely busy.
I'm sure you're right, but we should ask. Listen, you're really good friends with them, so could you talk to them? And if they say yes, could you do the interview?
I'm not sure.
Please. I'm going to have to work through the weekend to finish checking everything by Monday.
Well, all right. I'll try.
Thanks.
Part 3.
I've just called Varna and they are extremely busy, but she agreed.
Fantastic! Well done! Now, you haven't done an interview before, have you?
No, I haven't. So how do I prepare for it?
You need to prepare a list of questions.
Have you got any suggestions?
Well, most people don't know enough about Kurdistan, so let's start with that. You can ask something like this. Please could you tell us a little about Kurdistan?
Right. Let me write this down. Please could you tell us a little about Kurdistan?
And you could ask about that New Year festival.
Newroz, you mean?
Yes. You could say, and could you say something about Newroz?
Right. And could you say something about Newroz? And we can talk about the Newroz festival that we went to together in Trafalgar Square.
Good. So you can ask, how did you enjoy celebrating Newroz here in London?
How did you enjoy celebrating Newroz here in London?
And then you could talk about the weather in Kurdistan and the weather here. You can ask, what's the weather like in Kurdistan?
All right. What's the weather like in Kurdistan? Good. And while we're talking about the weather, We'd better talk about the 12 Tours race.
Yes, it was terrible, wasn't it? You can ask, what did you think of our English weather during the 12 Tours race?
Right. What did you think of our English weather during the 12 Tours race?
And that was a great moment when you all crossed the finish line and no one else did. You were on the national news and we were all very proud of you. So you'd better say something about that too. You could ask, how did you feel when our team managed to finish the race and no one else did?
Good. How did you feel when our team managed to finish the race and no one else did?
Good. Now I think you've got enough questions. I hope the interview goes well.
Thanks.